So today is Wednesday, August 3rd, day 163. No, 164, my bad. Unfortunately, it is time to leave this place. Yesterday's Zero was incredible. The most relaxing experience I've had on trail so far. And it's really hard to leave, but we're so close at this point that we just got to keep moving so that we can get it done. So I'm supposed to be showing you all a new pair of shoes, but unfortunately, I didn't get them. We had yet another issue with shipping, although this time it was really my fault. I didn't realize that there was an Andover, Massachusetts and an Andover, Maine, and the abbreviations are so similar that my tired hiker brain got them completely mixed up. So obviously that confused USPS, so they returned my shoes to sender. So I had to reach back out to Topo yesterday and ask them to reship my shoes now to Rangeley, which is going to be my next stop. It is 30 miles up ahead, so I'm going to have to put another 30 miles on these shoes, which is going to basically put me right at 1,000 miles. Thankfully, the terrain between here and there doesn't look terrible. I really just have to get over this one big climb today, and then I should be pretty clear for the rest of the stretch. But I'm just so frustrated that I had to put these shoes back on this morning. My feet still hurt, my toes are still sore, and yeah, this is just not comfortable when I was expecting to be comfortable at this point, but things happen. Maine has really been all about these rebars, or whatever you call them. Ever since we crossed into the state, we've been climbing up these left and right. Y'all see this? The only other option is to walk right up the side of a rock slab, like what you see here. And with my shoes having no tread, that is really difficult. All right, so I'm about 7 miles in on the day, just 1 mile away from the first lean-to where I'm planning to stop for a lunch break. And I think this is the first time that Maine is actually starting to look like Maine. I was wondering where all the lakes were that everyone was talking about. So I guess we're approaching. You know, I hate to put this out there too soon because I don't want it to come back and bite me in the butt. But I think that Maine is finally starting to be a little nicer to us as far as the terrain is concerned. I mean, yeah, we did start the day off with a climb up Old Blue Mountain, which was kind of hard, but not the most challenging. But we've already gone over the two highest peaks of the day, Old Blue being one of them, Mount Bemis being the other. But yeah, the terrain today has been pretty nice. And looking at the rest of Maine and what that looks like, I mean, I know that I've got the Saddlebacks, I've got the Bigelows, the Chairbacks coming up. But those just look like small sections where you just get over those peaks and then the terrain goes back to being more leveled out. So it's such a relief, honestly. I'm tired of all the steep climbs and all the rocks. Every time I have to go uphill, I'm just like, ugh. Especially when it's like so steep and you're just walking up the side of rock slabs. But I'm hopeful. Everyone said that southern Maine is just as hard, if not harder than the whites. And I don't know how long of a stretch people classify as southern Maine, but I hope to see some easier terrain for these last 2.5 weeks because I'm tired. I've said it a million times. Like, my body is worn out. And, you know, at this point, 1-0 does nothing. But yeah, debating whether I'm only going 17 miles today and stopping at a lean-to, or doing about 21 and going to a tent site. I guess it doesn't really matter which one I go to today, because tomorrow I will be Neroing into the town of Rangeley, where I will be taking another 0 because, one, I'm having my other pair of shoes shipped there, as I mentioned before, and I think they should be there by Friday. So if I get to town tomorrow and then just chill out on Friday, wait for them to get to the post office and then me pick them up, then I can be back out on Saturday. The other reason is because, as I mentioned yesterday, I'm trying to let Gary catch up to me so that we can finish together. This is probably the last day that I will see Prof, Neo, and Gumby, and I did share that with them. You know, it's unfortunate. I would have loved to finish this out with them and Gary, but they're just moving at 2 different paces, and I had to make a choice. And, you know, Prof, Gumby, and Neo are really making a push to get to Katahdin like 2 weeks from today, whereas I feel like I want to take it a little easier. So they aren't taking any more 0s, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to commit to that. So with Gary joining me and with me having to wait for him, I will get more 0s, and then we can do like a mileage that feels more comfortable for us, because I just want to be comfortable at this point. I've done enough work. I'm exhausted. I've pushed through so much, and now I feel like I should be able to just relax and finish this thing up with ease and with a calm breath. Most thru hikers at this point are just ready to be done, and a lot of them will tell you that. So they're all just pushing big days for the last couple of weeks just to get to Katahdin, and they're all saying, oh, we aren't taking any more 0s, we're just gonna get it done, and I don't want to do that. So I think my decision feels good to me, but yeah, I guess that's all for now. See y'all in a bit. Yo, today is a good day to pick some blueberries, and there is like a smorgasbord all up and through here. I've probably eaten about 3 or 4 handfuls already, and I'm still going. We are really doing all right today. I haven't felt like I wanted to die, not once. These climbs are not killing me. So I'm having a pretty decent day. Surprise, surprise. And that is Rangeley Lake behind me, which we get a pretty nice view of.
Oh, fucking A.
That's gonna be on my video.
Perfect. I wish I was on that boat out there.
I can't see a boat. Eight and a half hours later, and 17 miles later, finally made it to Sabbath Pond Shelter. This is obviously Sabbath Pond, and I think I will be stopping here for the day because I am quite tired. It's not a bad place to spend the night, though. Good morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, August 4th, day 165, and it is close to 7:30 a.m. Pretty much everyone has already left the shelter. I knew that Prof, Gumby, and Neo were leaving early because they're doing a big, like, 20-mile day today. So pretty much I am separating from the group today. I'm only doing about 9.5 miles to get to Rangeley because that's where I had my new shoes shipped. And I'm also waiting for Gary to catch up. So had to sort of say goodbye to the tramley this morning as they were packing up and leaving, even though I may still see them just up here because there's a hostel right at the road where you go into Rangeley. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna stay there yet or try to find a cheap-ish hotel motel situation in town, but I'm at least gonna stop at the hostel first before I go into town. So they'll probably be there because they needed to pick up some resupply stuff, and the hostel has a pretty good resupply selection. Yeah. The only reason why I don't really want to stay at this hostel, which is called the Hiker Hut, is because it's off-grid, which means they don't have any electricity. I couldn't do laundry there if I wanted to. Literally, all I could do was eat, sleep, and shower. And it's like, do I want to pay like $35-40 for a bunk and not have the amenities that usually come with hostels? Or would I rather just go get a hotel room where I can sort of be by myself and do the things that I need to do? And I would really prefer the hotel, but I don't know. Everything in Maine is expensive, so I'm wondering if there might be a motel in town or something like that that I can find for cheap. So we'll have to see. So my plan is to zero in Rangeley tomorrow because I think my shoes won't be delivered until either tomorrow or Saturday. And if they don't arrive by Saturday, then I'm in trouble because I'm either going to have to hang around until Monday or I'm going to have to hike on with these shoes and try to bounce the package forward to the next town. I don't really have time for that right now. So, funny enough, by the time I get to the road, which would take me into Rangeley, I will have officially put 1,000 miles on these shoes. And I don't know if I recommend that. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable walking, and it's been uncomfortable for a while. And these shoes lasted through, you know, all of Maryland, Pennsylvania with the rocks, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, Vermont, all of New Hampshire and the whites, and now southern Maine. So I've put a lot on these shoes. But I don't think I can put another 230 miles on them. So that's the plan for today. I'm sad to be separating from my little tramley, but I gotta do what I gotta do. And I gotta do what feels right. But what I will say is that I appreciate them so much. They understood how much I was struggling when I wanted to quit and go home. And they made sure that I didn't feel alone. So, shout out to them. And if any of them ever see this video, congrats to us, because we made it. We will be in that small percentage of people who go all the way. So that's a big deal. So yeah, I'm gonna get these 9.5 miles out of the way today and go into town. Oh man.
So you're ready for it to be done, man?
Yep, I am.
I totally get that. You had a good trip though?
For the most part.
Yeah.
So I'm about 1 mile outside of Rangeley at this point. I'm almost at the road, and I am so glad because it's supposed to get up to about 90 degrees today, and it's getting hotter by the hour. So I'm so glad that I will not have to worry about hiking through the heat of the day. So I checked with Topo. They finally sent me tracking, and my shoes are not expected to arrive until Monday, which meant they just did a general USPS delivery. And I'll tell you, I'm not staying in town until Monday. I've established that my Katahdin summit date will be August 20th, which is exactly 2 weeks away from Saturday. So I've got 2 weeks and 1 day to do the last 220 miles. So I cannot afford to sit in Rangeley until Monday. Today is Thursday. But on the bright side, one thing that I read in the far out comments is that Rangeley has 2 gear stores, at least one of which has a solid selection of hiker shoes, and that includes Topo. So I'm hoping that I can just find the shoe that I need in store so that I can just buy it real quick and keep hiking on. And then when my order arrives at the post office on Monday, by that point I'll already be in Stratton, which is like 30 or so miles up ahead. So I will have to call the post office and just have them return to sender, and I'll have to call Topo and have them refund me. I'm telling you, this mail stuff on trail has been freaking impossible. Of all the gear failures that I've had, only a couple of brands have really come through for me. Those being Hilltop, providing me a new food bag, and Z-Packs, providing me a new tent. But when CNOC recently came through for me, replacing my trekking pole parts. But like everybody else, from shoe companies to Thermarest, which I have some beef with Thermarest right now because my new Uber Light inflatable pad that I just bought in Burlington, Vermont is already starting to delaminate, which is what happened to my last Thermarest pad. And I just bought it. So I'm pretty pissed off with them. And I'm probably going to stop buying Thermarest pads altogether because I'm sick of it. My last pad that I was supposed to have replaced, they shipped the replacement to my house instead of shipping it to me on trail, which makes no sense to me when I told them that I'm on trail. So I'm irritated with them. And now I'm irritated with this whole Topo situation. So let's hope that I can just find some shoes at the store in town because I'm done with the whole shipping nonsense. Well, this is our home for the next couple nights. Staying at the Saddleback Inn here in Rangeley, Maine. It's just a little motel. And it's within a half a mile of the grocery store and the downtown area with an outfitter. So I think I'm gonna head into town to get some lunch and hopefully get some new shoes after I get settled. All right, we're not looking too bad in here. Not bad at all. Honestly, this is no different from the other motels I've stayed in on trail, so, not much to complain about. Okay, so I told y'all earlier today that the topos I ordered won't be getting to town until Monday, and I'm not staying until Monday, but I found out that the outfitter in town does carry topos, so I went there today and I found a new pair of shoes. So I'm upgrading from these Ultra Venture 2s with 1,000 miles on them at this point and no tread, as you can see, to these Terra Venture 3s. And I will be finishing the hike in these. And I'm so happy that they're blue because they match with my outfit. And I'm so glad that I will not have to worry about slipping and falling on these rocks anymore. Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, July 6th. No. When is today? It's Friday. It's Friday, July 5th, day 166. That's right. I can't believe I just blanked like that. I'm pretty tired, per usual. I've decided that I am taking a zero here in Rangeley today. Initially, this zero was to wait for my shoes to be delivered to the post office here in town. But unfortunately, I found out yesterday my shoes aren't going to be delivered until Monday. So by the time Monday gets here, I will already be in Stratton. So I'm going to have to call the post office and just ask them to send the package back to Topo and get refunded for my order. I'm just planning to rest up today. I know there are some possible thunderstorms in the forecast, which is another reason why I'm taking a zero. And I just want to rest. I don't really want to do too much. I've already planned out my itinerary to get to Katahdin, so this zero is a part of that plan. So I'm feeling pretty good. So I'm excited to have a day of rest. I'm excited to eat some more town food and just, just hang out. Good morning, everyone. Today is Saturday, August 6th. It is day 167, and we've got some new shoes. It's time to tackle the last 220 miles of the AT. It's time to leave the town of Rangeley, and I had a very nice day. And it's just time to keep moving. We will be summiting Katahdin 2 weeks from today, so we got to get there. So starting off the day with a pretty large climb up Saddleback Mountain. So let's get it going. Okay, so it's 9:30 in the morning and I'm just getting started for the day. I met someone in town who ended up giving me a ride back to the trail. Had a nice relaxing zero yesterday in Rangeley. Pretty much did not get out of bed until it was time to go eat. I took my time getting out this morning. The plan is to do 19 miles today, and that'll take me up and over the Saddlebacks and also Lone Mountain, and then that'll leave me with about 14 miles to get into the town of Stratton tomorrow. So I put my itinerary together to get me to Katahdin pretty much 2 weeks from today. And I was speaking to my parents because they are going to come out to Maine to meet me after I finish. And then we're all gonna fly back home to Baltimore together. So that's exciting. I haven't seen them since Harper's Ferry, however many months ago that was, back in May. I think I'm going to try to put myself in a position to summit Katahdin a day early, just in case the weather doesn't cooperate. So, yeah. Hang on, I gotta stop because I'm tired. Already just started this climb and I'm tired. Unfortunately, I had a conversation with Gary Rocksteady the other day. And I was telling him that I was trying to wait up for him so that he could catch up and so that we could finish this together. That's what I wanted. That's what he wanted. And I told him that my parents are planning to fly up to Maine and that it would be best for them if I summited Katahdin on a weekend. So I plan to make it the weekend of August 20th, which is literally 2 Saturdays from today. So that gives us 2 weeks to do 220 miles. And I asked Gary, do you think that's doable? And he told me that sounds a little too aggressive for him as far as what we would need to do mileage-wise to get there. Now, I thought that maybe we could make it work because, after this section and the next section, which includes the Bigelows and stuff, the trail sort of eases up a bit, and levels out a bit and there aren't as many climbs, and the climbs that we do have aren't nearly as big or as challenging, from what I've heard at least. So I figured that would allow us to do some bigger mile days again, but he just said it wasn't gonna work for him. So he told me to just go ahead and finish and meet up with my family. So I'm in this position once again where I'm just by myself again, because I already said goodbye to Prof, Gumby, and Neo, and they have their own sort of plan to finish, which is more ambitious than mine. They're gonna be subbing maybe like 3-4 days before me, and they're making some really big pushes to get to Katahdin, and they're not really taking any breaks in between. So I'm not with them anymore. I'm not gonna be with Gary. It's just me finishing this by myself, and I think maybe I kind of like that. You know, I came into this by myself. I feel like I've done what I needed to do, and now I'm gonna finish on my own terms, on my own time. So I can't be mad at that, and I don't really have to worry about anyone but me. So as much as I don't want to do these climbs anymore, I'm just gonna try to keep my head up and keep positive and just keep moving. So yeah, check back in a bit. All right, you all, this is the official welcome to the Saddlebacks mountain range. God, this climb is so hard and I feel like I can't make it. I'm so sick of mountains. So we are making our way into the Alpine zone again. So we'll be above tree line for the next 3 miles. So glad I only have to do this climb once, because like everything else related to this trail, I freaking hate it. So that over there is the official peak of Saddleback, and that's where I just was. When I got up there, there was a group of hot guys, and I was very pleased with that. So shout out to them, even though I look like death probably. And as you look down the mountain, you can see the chairlift things. And down at the bottom there is Saddleback Lodge. And then if you look out to where that far lake is back there, I believe that is Rangeley Lake. And there's the town of Rangeley, where I just was. So pretty cool. So I've done 7.5 miles so far today, and I am stopping here at Reddington Stream campsite for 2 reasons. The first is because I need to fill up water, and the second reason, which is a little more interesting, is that I heard that this campsite is rumored to be haunted. I don't know by who or what, and I know nothing about the backstory, but I think it's pretty interesting, so I don't know, maybe we'll see a ghost. So I do believe that I have made it through the hardest part of the day, and boy was it hard. I made it up and over the saddlebacks, and now I am done with that. I can shove that into the deepest, darkest corner of my memory. Never have to do them again. And I have I swear they think we can just walk up the side of rocks. Anyways, I have like 8 miles left today. It's around 3:30, so I'm probably not going to be finishing for another 3 hours at least. It's a hot one, and it's really humid, and the sun is just beating down all day long. And the terrain has still been challenging, so it's just been tough. And I've been moving slow, as fast as I can, but at this point, that's just slow. So I have just one more climb left to do today, and it looks like it'll be the easiest climb of the day, hopefully. And then after that, the last 3 miles, I'll just be coasting to the campsite. Pretty sure tomorrow is going to be another tough day, just looking at the map. Tomorrow there are more 4,000 footers, but thankfully I don't have to go over all of them. So there's like Mount Abraham, which I don't have to go over, thankfully. There's Sugarloaf Mountain, which I don't have to go over. I could take the side trails if I wanted to up to the summits, but I'm not. There is one 4,000 footer that I'm gonna have to go over tomorrow. That's in between Sugarloaf and Abraham, and right now the name of it is escaping me, but that'll be at the beginning of the day. And this last climb that I have to do today will basically put me halfway up that mountain. And then tomorrow I have to go over the Crockers, and they do not look fun, to be honest. So I'm not really excited about that, but I'll deal with that tomorrow. There's also a hostel in Stratton that I was planning to stay at. So Stratton is the next town that I'll be passing through. And since I'm doing like an 18.5, almost 19 mile day today, that'll put me 14 miles outside of Stratton. So I should be getting there tomorrow. Initially, I was only going to do 10 miles today, and I was going to stop at the shelter that I just passed. Poplar Ridge, I think it's called. But I decided to reduce this little section to 2 days instead of 3. So I need to call the Maine Roadhouse, where I already made a reservation for Monday, and see if they can change it to tomorrow. And I debated whether I was going to take another 0 in Stratton, but I don't think I am. I think I want to keep pushing all the way to Monson. That's the last town stop before I enter the 100-mile wilderness. So I think I'll take a 0 there. And I need to talk to the people at Shaw's Hostel, where I'm planning to stay, to see if they can help me through the 100-mile wilderness with a food drop. But I'll explain more about that a little later when the time comes. But yeah, just want to get these 8 miles done today so I can get to camp and lay down because I'm exhausted. I was so foolish to think this last climb of the day was going to be easy. I almost broke down in tears. I'm so fucking exhausted. And fuck Southern Maine. I'm so sick of this shit. I hate these mountains. Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, August 7th, day 168. As you can see, I'm already pretty drenched in sweat, and I only just started hiking about 30 minutes ago. So just starting off the day, finishing up this climb up Spalding, which thankfully, we don't have to go all the way to the summit. There's a little side trail that takes you up to the summit, but I'm not taking any more side trails, and I don't care about any more summits. That little climb wasn't even a mile long, and I'm already drenched in sweat. My legs felt like they couldn't do it, and it wasn't steep or anything. I'm just that tired at this point in the game. So today I'm doing about 14 miles into the town of Stratton. I will be staying at a hostel there called the Maine Roadhouse, which I've heard is a pretty nice hostel run by two lovely ladies, both named Jen. So I'm excited to get there. There is one big climb today, which I am absolutely not excited about, and that is the climb up to Crocker Mountain. Looking at the map, it is a long climb, another 4,000 footer, and the entire thing is just straight up. So pretty sure it is going to kill me. I'm going to hate every second of it, and it's going to take me a long time because I move very slow when I'm climbing these days. So yeah, that pretty much has my anxiety going all day. So I'm just thinking about how tough all these other climbs have been, and they just continue to get harder by the day. And I definitely misspoke a few days back when I said that Maine was finally letting up on us. No, it isn't. The southern half of the state is fucking ridiculous. And I think I might actually hate it more than the whites. So what people said about southern Maine being the hardest part of the AT, I might actually agree. Like, the shit is ridiculous. So yeah, we've got a few miles to do before I even get to that climb. So I'm just gonna try to take it easy, take my time, and get up trail so that I can get into town. So yeah. I would now like to bring into your awareness another land acknowledgement. These lands moving into the Carabasset Valley, Stratton area are shared by the Wabanaki, Abenaki, and Nauransuak tribes. I'm pretty sure I am butchering all those names, but I'm trying my best here. I don't have enough service to be able to look up correct pronunciations a lot of the times. So that's why I include them somewhere on the screen so that we can all do our own work, do our own research. But it starts with bringing it into our awareness that we are on stolen lands. We are on native lands. I'm not ready to start this climb yet, so I'm taking a little rest break, fueling up, drinking my water. It's about 2,000 feet of elevation gain in less than 2.5 miles. It pretty much goes from this to that to get to the top as far as steepness. But this is pretty much the last thing I have to do today. Just get up and over this mountain. The road is on the other side, just 8.5 miles away. So it's still early. I'm not really in a rush, so I'll get moving shortly. I just have to mentally prepare myself for this first. I'm not ready. Son of a bitch. This sucks. So we made it to the summit of South Crocker and just hit 2,000 miles. So I am now officially a part of the 2,000 mile club. Whew, I wish I wasn't so exhausted. But I guess I wouldn't be here if I weren't this exhausted. Oh my gosh, 2,000 miles. I'm officially a part of the 2,000 mile club. Did I say that already? Look, I'm so tired, I don't even know what's going on. Yeah, we've got one more little climb up to North Crocker, and it's all downhill from there. But yeah, probably the biggest milestone so far. And from here, it's just Katahdin or bust. So I've just reached the summit of North Crocker Mountain. The last climb of the day is done. The next 5 miles down to the road. Well, it's all downhill, thankfully. And we've only got one more section of 4,000 footers before Katahdin, and that is the Bigelows, which I will tackle tomorrow. So I hope they aren't as bad, and thankfully today wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. These snakes are everywhere. I've seen about 6 of them in the last couple of days. Good thing he's harmless, because you gotta walk right past him. Well, finally done for the day. It was 5.5 miles climbing down that mountain, and it took forever. My shoulders are so tired and aching from holding my pack. I'm so glad to finally get it off me. And as you can see behind me, I'm at mile 2006.1. Very happy to be done for the day. And honestly, this is always the best part of the day. I'm a little bit closer to Katahdin. So I'm gonna call the hostel so they can send a shuttle to come pick me up, and I'm just ready to take a shower, eat something, and chill for the rest of the day because I'm beat up.
Give you each one, just to be safe.
Thank you.
It was really awesome. I enjoyed it. They have lobster.
Nice.
Red and Maine.
Yep.
They're on that side already. Oh, thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday, August 8th, day 169. And as you can see, today is absolute shit. It's supposed to be pouring rain all day today, and I immediately feel like I am making a mistake not taking a zero. So last night I stayed at the Maine Roadhouse in Stratton, and that was one of the best hostel stays ever. They make an amazing breakfast. They do a wonderful job of catering to hikers, taking us into town when we need for a resupply, providing laundry, shower, all of that. The two gents that run that place are amazing, and yeah, I really enjoyed that place. And I probably should have stayed there today, but I'm kind of on a tight schedule right now. It figures as soon as I give my parents a date that I expect to summit Katahdin, and as soon as they book their plane flights, it decides to rain for a week straight. So can't really afford to take a zero today. I need to take a zero in Monson before the 100-mile wilderness, and I'm hoping to be there by Friday, end of day. So I've got to move today, and I'm gonna let y'all know right now I'm probably not recording anything else today because a wet phone does not operate too well. I also have to go over the Bigelows today, which is the last 4,000 foot mountain range before Katahdin. So thankfully after today the terrain should get significantly easier, but I've got to get through today first, and it's not looking too pretty. So I have two options. There is a shelter in 5 miles, and there's a shelter in 15 miles. And I need to see which one of those I am going to try to get to. Right now it's looking like the 5-mile one, but if I can make it 15, that would put me in a much better shape for the rest of the week. So we're gonna see. You know, they say through hiking is about embracing the suck, and this definitely sucks. But you know, at this point, I'm in the last stretch, the last 2 weeks of this hike, the last 188 miles. A little downpour or a week's worth of downpour is not gonna stop me at this point. So I'm making this push to Katahdin regardless of anything. So I'll probably talk to y'all tomorrow or later today when I get into a shelter and get dry. But for right now, I've got to move. So see ya. So I made it here to the Horns Pond lean-to. So I've done about 5 miles today so far. I made it up that first initial climb, which sucked pretty much like everything else in southern Maine. I'm thankful that they have this day use shelter, which is right off the trail. So I don't have to go all the way back to where these sleeping shelters are, which are straight back there. So I'm probably gonna sit here for a bit. let the rain come down, and the next 3.5 miles will pretty much take me over the Maine Bigelow peaks. So once that's done, I will be done with 4,000 footers until Katahdin. So I'm definitely going for the 15 today. I'm gonna take my chances on that small 6-person shelter, hoping that not many people will be out. And yeah, that'll put me in a much better position to get to Monson by Thursday. So y'all aren't gonna believe this, but on that initial ascent up to, well, this lean-to, I finally caught up to none other than Jay Wanders Out. If y'all remember back in Pennsylvania, I was literally like 1 day behind him, and then I just started taking a bunch of zeros. So he got out ahead of me. Then I almost caught up to him again in New York, and then I took a week off in New York, so he got out ahead of me again. But apparently I'm not the only one who's been taking a flurry of zeros. He and his partner said that they spent 9 days in Gorham, New Hampshire, which I'm honestly not mad at him for it. That was a pretty sweet town, and I wish I could have stayed at that hotel with the pool and the hot tub for much longer than just one night. So yeah, I passed them coming up the hill. They're behind me now. I don't know where they're planning to go for today, so I might see them at the lean-to a bit further on, or they may just be planning to stop here. I don't know. But that was pretty cool that I finally caught up to him, and he and I and his partner, we already met back at Trail Days in Damascus, so it was cool to actually see him on trail. But yeah, I'm pretty glad that the rain is not as bad as it was supposed to be today. It's been a pretty steady downpour, but we are getting some pauses and some breaks in the rain, so that's pretty nice, where the forecast pretty much said it was supposed to be a downpour for the entire day. And actually, as we move through the day, the percentage is supposed to increase, so I'm hoping it doesn't get any worse, because this is pretty manageable. I'm probably not going to take a long break here. I want to keep moving, and I'll probably just snack while I walk, because I really want to get this done. I want to get over these peaks, and I want to be able to just glide to Monson for the next few days, because after the Bigelows, terrain is pretty flat, and I love the sight of that. So yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all, I finally caught Jay Wanders Out. So if he ends up at the shelter tonight, maybe I'll try to get him on camera. All right, North Horn is done. Oh no, this is South Horn. I already did North Horn, apparently. Only 2 more peaks to go. Bigelow West and Bigelow Avery. And as you can see, it's a marvelous day. I made it over the Bigelows! Ah, thank Jesus! No more 4,000 footers until Katahdin. Thank you, thank you. Now get me out of here. So this is the summit of Little Bigelow, which is the last puzzle piece of this Bigelow mountain range. And now we go down, and I don't have any more climbs for the next few days. And boy, y'all have no idea what a relief that is. Thank goodness today is over. I made it the 15 miles here to Little Bigelow campsite and shelter. It's actually about 6:30 now, and I got here about 2 hours ago at 4:30. And there was space for me, so I'm in the shelter tonight. So I've already had dinner. I just filled up on water down at the water source, which is called the tubs. There are actually these really deep pools that you can soak in if it weren't cold and wet already. But yeah, I'm glad the day is over. I'm glad I didn't zero. I just mustered through it. Tomorrow the rain should be letting up according to the forecast, so we'll be able to push some miles. Good morning, all. Today is Tuesday, August 9th, day 170. I'm so glad that we made it through that mess of a day yesterday with all that rain and made it over the last 4,000 foot mountain range before Katahdin. Got to the shelter last night and there was plenty of space. There was a total of 5 of us there. And yeah, I ended up going to sleep at like 7:30 last night because, well, I was just tired. And, you know, I don't have working headphones. My last pair of headphones stopped working, so I threw them away. And, you know, I just wanted to sleep. So I slept from 7:30 until 6 o'clock this morning. And I think that might be the most rest I've gotten so far on trail. Definitely the best night's sleep, even though my sleeping pad that I just bought in Vermont, my Thermarest Uberlight, has now become delaminated. And my last pad delaminated right where my head is supposed to be. This pad has delaminated right where my lower back is. So there's now this big, just inflated air bubble right where my lower back is, which is now pretty uncomfortable. So I'm going to be getting rid of this pad, and I don't know if I will ever buy another Thermarest pad again. I don't know if I want to buy any more inflatable pads because I'm just kind of tired of it. I think I'm going back to the foam accordion pads, and that's just going to be that because I mostly sleep either on my stomach or my back anyway. So yeah, when I get to Monson in a few days, I'm going to see if they have an outfitter, and I'm going to see if there are some accordion pads there. Thermarest has lost a customer because I just can't do it anymore. I've seen people say that they've had their pads for like 5-6 years when they purchased them 5 or 6 years ago, but if you're buying a Thermarest pad today, odds are the production quality was not that great, and Thermarest really needs to figure that shit out. But anyways, aside from that, today is looking to be a pretty easy day. So we got some rain this morning, but the chances of rain are lessening as the day goes on. So I don't honestly think I'll see any more rain today. And the terrain today is pretty much flat. We have a couple of small hills to go over where I may be gaining 100 to 250 feet in elevation, but that's nothing compared to the 2,000 to 3,000 feet of elevation going up just one of these mountains in southern Maine and New Hampshire. So today should honestly just be a cakewalk, aside from everything being wet and slippery. So I'm very excited just to have a good day today, to have a chill day. Probably just gonna listen to music all day and enjoy a nice flat walk. So I'm going to be doing about 17.7, close to 18 miles today to get to Pierce Pond Lean-To. And the reason I am stopping there is because I will be approaching the Kennebec River, and the only way across that river is to go by canoe. And there is a gentleman who works literally at the river, and he canoes people across all day. So you have to get there during his work hours, which are currently 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And that river is 21 miles away, and there's no possible way I'm going to get there before 2 p.m. today. It's about 8:45 right now. Even with today being pretty flat and easy, that's still a long way to go. So I'm going to do 17.7 miles, stop at Pierce Pond Shelter, and pretty close to that shelter is a campsite where they make breakfast, and hikers are allowed to come in and eat the breakfast. And it's just a short side trail away from the shelter. So my plan is to get up tomorrow, go eat some breakfast, and then catch my canoe ride across the Kennebec River, and then I will continue on toward Monson. So yeah, I'm not sure if that all makes sense, but you'll understand tomorrow morning when it all actually happens. This river crossing is pretty much the only place on the AT where you have to aqua blaze. Like, there's no way around that river. And there's actually a white blaze on the bottom of the canoe from what I've been told, so that'll be pretty cool. Anyways, my arm is getting tired and I'm tired of talking, so I'm gonna go for now. This is pretty cool, but I'm honestly having some weird feelings today. I'm ready to be done with this hike, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want to go home. What was once home, i.e. Baltimore, doesn't really feel like home anymore. And so I don't really want to go back there. And so I have 10 days left of this hike, and in those 10 days, I kind of need to figure out what I'm going to do. I need to figure out where home might be after this. So this is pretty interesting. I've heard quite a few reports of hikers being attacked by these northern ghost hawks. I don't think there have been any attacks recently, but over several weeks I've seen and heard about this. So I hope they leave me alone today. I'm just gonna try to move through this area as quickly as possible. All right, so I pretty much hauled ass through the day to get to Pierce Pond Shelter, which is here. 18 miles on the day, done. And here's Pierce Pond. So I decided to go 3/10 of a mile past Pierce Pond Shelter. And instead, I'm here at Pierce Pond Camp, or whatever it's called. And I might be staying here tonight instead of the shelter since my sleeping pad is a disaster. So we'll go up here and see. And I know they have a really famous pancake breakfast in the morning, which is the main reason why I'm here. All right, and so I did decide to pay the $40 and stay here at Harrison's Pierce Pond Camp. This is the cabin that I'm staying in, the Trabalter. It's pretty cozy. They have 2 full-size beds with mattresses, so I don't have to worry about, a faulty sleeping pad tonight, and that's the main reason why I decided to stay here. Breakfast will be at 7 a.m., so I'll have ton of pancakes and sausage and coffee and orange juice, which I'm really happy about. There's a little deck here, firewood. So I'm gonna make a little fire after I take a shower because it's a little chilly in there and I just want to warm up the place a bit. Yeah, I'm about to go jump in the shower now. I'm just giving it a minute to let the generator heat up so I can have some hot water and a decent water pressure. But yeah, this is a pretty cool place and I'm happy to be here. Like you can see some cabins down there. More cabins back there. I think I'm the only hiker staying here tonight, which is pretty cool. And Tim, I think the guy's name, was nice enough to put me in the closest cabin to the lodge. So tomorrow I'll be right over there at 7 for breakfast. So yeah, I'll maybe check back in after I take a shower and get dinner and a fire going.